My name is Rachel Breyer, and my van does not have a name yet. Hasn't come to me. I heard I'm supposed to name my van, but I just can't force it, so I haven't chosen one yet. I've been in the van for a few weeks, trying to visit a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, and then I'll head south and be in the van full time. This was a tough decision for me, actually. I knew I wanted to live in the van. I knew I wanted to get a camper van. We had an RV in the past, but finally I realized my husband, for work, goes all over the world and solves these problems and does these big things. And I just didn't like the idea of me sitting at home. Yeah, my work is valuable, but I just didn't feel like I was living my life to the fullest. So finally I convinced my husband it was time to pull the trigger and just do it and just jump in, because I'm not getting any younger. Nothing's really changing for me. Like, why wouldn't I just go ahead and do it now? Because otherwise I might be looking back wishing I started earlier. So I'm glad that I just went ahead and did it. Right now, prices are higher, gas is higher, but I decided it was still worth it, because for me, like, just being able to experience new things and new cultures, even within the lower 48, just seemed like such a win for me, and something that would just really help me grow as a person too. So I decided, despite the environment, despite being by myself with my 2 dogs on the road, I would just do it. And it might be a little hard sometimes, but I'll figure it out. What made me hesitate about moving into a van was being alone. I'm a very social, extroverted person in a lot of ways. And the idea of me being just isolated on the road was a bit daunting, I guess would be a good word. When you think about it, it's like, well, what if I don't have a signal? Then I can't call my sister or message my friends. I'd really be alone. But I do have Quaker and Oats, my 2 Chihuahua mixes, so I won't be super lonely, but I think that was probably the biggest hurdle for me. And then, of course, as a solo female van traveler, you have to think about safety and security. You have to think about, okay, if I'm by myself overnight in a place that doesn't have cell phone signal, and I have a flat tire, or, do I know how to fix that? Do I know how to take care of my van? Do I know how to troubleshoot issues and get help on my own? And that's something that, I've always been pretty independent, but that's really independent. And that's kind of beyond my typical comfort zone. But I decided to just suck it up and try anyway. And so far, when things break, because they always do, I've been able to fix it. I've been able to problem solve and overcome those more of safety things. And yeah, just kind of recognizing that the world's actually mostly good. And it's not as scary as people make it seem too. So to me, it's worth the inherent risks that come with living in a van as a solo female van traveler, especially. This is their custom-built doggy door, so that I can leave my big door open and let the dogs out. Otherwise, who knows where they would end up. They're not trustworthy. They try, but questionable at best. This is my outdoor table. I have a friend who is an artist, and I actually asked her to do custom tables for my van, because for me, giving the inside so much personality just makes it a more enjoyable space. And I wanted to feature a couple of my friends that have awesome artwork and do really cool things. And we have a drop-down table for extra counter space if needed. Over here we have our slide-out pantry, and it's double, so we have 2 of them. Lots of extra space for storing food and dog treats and all the things. A lot of my spices are up here. We've got our induction stove top here, storage drawers for everything you might need. I always love doubling up on storage in here because you can fit a lot more. Also under the sink is where we keep pots and pans, trash can, cleaning supplies. which is awesome. And then of course, my favorite little retro fridge here. So we have a freezer and a refrigerator. I went with a normal, larger fridge and freezer because my dogs are bougie and they have refrigerated food. So I had to have plenty of fridge space for their dog food. I was really debating on if I needed a microwave because you can reheat things on the stove pretty easily. But then I discovered that they make not only microwave convection ovens, but this is an air fryer and a broiler too. All right, so over here is my dinette slash office space. So what I do is set this up, and then this is secured back here as my second monitor. It swings out this way, then this flips up to give me extra space. And we just slide. So I have dual monitors, plenty of space for taking notes if I want to use my notebook, space for my mouse, etc. And then my little selfie light to make sure my lighting is good for all those annoying Zoom calls that I have to do. Also, this chair flips around and becomes a dinette. So back here is my sleeping space, which is a queen short and also more storage for clothes. And all of my books are in storage back here. My control panel is back here, so that's where I monitor my battery levels, my hot water heater, my solar, all of the things back here, which is nice. One big decision I made was that I really needed the garage storage for gear and other things. I did not want a convertible bed. I don't even make my bed at home. So why would I want to have to convert my dinette to a bed and that like every single day? That sounded nothing short of miserable for me. So to me, I just opted for the permanent bed. It's really comfortable, it's easy, and I have all of this storage space for my internet connection, which is awesome. It helps me have more freedom for working. And then also all of my gear and chairs and camping items. My entire career ended up being in healthcare technology. So I started out at a cancer research institute just doing very low-level project work and worked my way up to being a senior-level project manager and a consultant in the healthcare IT realm. So over the years, I've built up my portfolio, my resume, of all of the different projects that I've done, and I now have a fairly good reputation in that realm for coming in, working on difficult projects, and helping these companies get it done. So for me to be in a contract consultant role, I typically get paid a higher rate than I would if I accepted a full-time salaried position. The downside is you're hourly, you sometimes have to travel, and you can work with like a mix of people. However, for me, I don't necessarily need like healthcare benefits or things that are kind of side benefits to working these full-time jobs because of my husband's job. So we kind of work together where he provides that health insurance and then I work the higher rates so we can save up for retirement. And it also helped us put a lot away in savings so I could then build out this van and do other things like investing. So most of my money now comes from my contract position that I currently have with a company based in California. However, we also chose to rent out our house. We have a home in Nashville, Tennessee, and we rented it out because if I'm not gonna be there, my husband's not gonna be there, why would we let it sit empty? So we decided to move out all of our personal belongings into storage, which was a huge pain, but it's really worth it because now our house is making money for us while I'm on the road and my husband's gone too. So it works out for everybody. But that helps supplement my income. Plus with my husband being in the military, it sucks a lot. Like it's hard for him to go away. It's hard to process like what is he doing or what is he not doing, etc. So One nice thing is knowing that he can retire and get a pension, and that will also help too. So right now we make a lot of sacrifices and spend a lot of time apart in order to hopefully spend a lot more time together in the nearer future instead of waiting until we're 65. You know, something I want to get out of van life is building up my confidence more as an independent female out on the road, taking care of myself and showing myself that I can like fix things, accomplish things, go to places I never thought I would get to see. And also I want to develop like more patience, I guess. Like city life is just go, 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 and it's really fun. There's like concerts and things to do and friends to catch up with and places to go and restaurants to eat at. There's not a lot of room for patience and calmness and peacefulness, and that's something I've really been missing. So one thing I'm excited to develop through this van life thing is having more patience and being more calm and just enjoying being peaceful and not being on the go all the time, which is funny saying that with a van, but when you're in a van and you have your whole house with you, you can really just stop and spend time somewhere. You don't have to get home to do laundry or dishes or take the dogs out because all of that's with you. You can do it at your leisure along your route, which is really nice. So I'm looking forward to just getting to know myself more, developing more like confidence, and just figuring out the things that I enjoy doing that maybe I never would have experienced before because I always filled my time with activities and social engagements and things like that in my community. If you want to follow along with me on my adventures, you can find me at Rachel Breyer Travel, which is obviously spelled funny, but whatever. Thanks, Mom.